Thank you for being here, our guests. It's awesome. I'm glad you're here. Sister Molly's going to speak first. Sister Molly kind of runs the Migrant Ministry and a couple of other ministries here at Spirit of Christ. She's a very busy lady. So please welcome Sister Molly.
Thank you. My real name is Madre Maria Luisa. That's my baptismal name, Maria Luisa, because I was born on San Luis's feast day. And everybody in my family that is that's born, we're born on the saint's day, but if the women or the girls, we always have a form of Maria, Mary, like Irene Dolores, that's my sister. We have 4 nuns in my family.
Wow.
And it's only because prayer was very important to my mother. And we said the rosary every night. And it was just her example, but I think what I wanted to do was serve the people, serve God's people. And that's why I entered the convent. And then when I told my mother that I wanted to enter the convent, she fainted. And I said, Ama! I said, if I'm not happy, I'll leave. Because I wanted to serve the community, the people. You know, and whatever is what we had in our family was something that just grew on us because prayer was a very important part of it. My mother didn't say, look at children, you know. What she had done was her example. For an example, she would, whenever she put salt on the food, she would always make the sign of the cross. And before she would mop the floors or whatever, she'd make the sign of the cross. She didn't say, look at children, look what I'm doing. It was just her example of how she lived her life to show us. The thing is that when I told my mother I was going to enter, she fainted. I just said, Mom, if I'm not happy, I'll leave. And so I never went to Catholic school. I never, you know, and so that was it. I was, by the way, I was the first Mexican cheerleader in my high school. I went to public high school. Isn't that funny? I always say that. Okay, I come from 7 children, and the example that we had was to serve. My brothers became a policeman just to serve the community. I grew up in an international neighborhood. We had Mexicans, blacks, Czechoslovakian, Serbians, Italians. So we respected everybody. And even we had Jewish people there, and that's a different nationality. And it was wonderful. You learn how to get along with each other. My brother that became a policeman, I can remember there was a guy that did not come out of the house because he says, oh, I want to wait for Victor, the policeman, to come. Victor's my brother. And when my brother came to pick him up, he came out. Isn't that funny? I mean, it's just respect. Because they knew that my brother Vic would respect the people. He's a very fine person. Not only that, now I'll tell you my work. My work is that when I wanted to serve, I didn't want to go to college because I was out for a few years. I didn't think I could study. And I was a baker. I baked for 300 nuns and college kids. And I loved it. I thought it was fun. You know, then a priest came into the kitchen and says, what's that young sister doing in the kitchen? Send her to school. And the Mother General called me. And she says, my name was Sister Timothy. She says, Sister Timothy, what do you want to study? Oh, Mother, do I have to go to school? So we were a religious order of teachers, nurses, counselors. And what happened is that I says, a nurse. I'll study to be a nurse. So since I've been out of school for a while, I had tutors to help me. That was fun too. The thing is that I got a high score in my state boards, and so there we go. But what happened is that I'm from Iowa, You guys know the Midwest. Everybody talks to everybody else. And I went to Muscatine, Iowa, because that's where they told me that they were farm workers there. Because we had the second H.G. Heinz factory in the United States in Muscatine, Iowa, and there was a lot of tomatoes to be picked. Of course, I loved that. And it was just fun. What I was teaching the people, like today in Colorado, since I moved here to Colorado eventually, I went out to, my sister Irene, she was in charge of the Hispanic office of the Archdiocese, and God bless her. She says, Molly, I changed my name from Timothy to Molly. My really name is Maria Luisa, because I was born in St. Luisa's feast day, June 21st. But anyway, she says, I need you to do, you want to work with the farm workers, or do you want to work with the senior citizens, or do you want to work with, or you can do part-time, half and half. And I remember that this young guy from St. Teresa, Padua, no, St. Teresa in Aurora, says, oh, to me, oh, sister, I have 2 jobs. I work here and I work someplace else, but I don't think I'm doing justice for either one of them because I have part-time here and part-time there. And so when my sister Irene says, work with the farm workers, of course that was an easy job for me because I was from Muscatine, Iowa and stuff. And so I did. And that's what I had to do, is wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go out to the fields to find out the farm workers, because nobody ever worked with them. Nobody knows where the farm workers lived. And so I was out in the fields, and I saw people back there. I goes, ¿A dónde viven? Where do you live? And they came up, and I introduced myself. Oh, madre, you know. And I says, can I come and see you in the evening? He goes, yeah. So what happened is that from that contact, I had other contacts and other contacts because they knew where everybody else lived. Isn't that interesting? And that's how I did it. At 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, they're out there picking from sunrise to sunset. Wow. And I've been here for a long time. But then what I had also done is I went to Mexico, in Puebla, the state of Puebla, and I became a midwife, so I deliver babies too. But, you know, the world goes on and on and on. We need to just be with each other, help each other out, and whatever. You know, there's so many stories that I could tell. I don't know how much time I have, but let me tell you one story real quick. I work with, most of them, you know, have education, but not a lot. And some young people can't read or write because they never had the opportunity to go to school. And so that's what I did also. I taught people how to write their names, you know, just little basic things. Then I taught English. What I was doing just a lot of teaching. I taught English as a second language. I gathered the people up that have not had their children baptized, and la quinceañera, and marriage. You get involved in all of that. I think it's wonderful to help each other out. But what I think is most important of everything is be prayerful and not judge anybody. And if you have a good education, you thank God for it, because we need each other. Especially now in this world, we need to stick by each other. Can I go on, or what's happening, Marie? You're looking at me. I'm going to pass this phone to Marie. But you know what, kids? Just be who you are, and don't be who you are not. Just be happy what you're doing, and just be there for people that need you. But don't forget one thing. Prayer is a very important part of your life, even though, you know, you don't have to demonstrate anything, but if there's a conflict or something that you need, remember to say, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. You know, instead of getting upset and angry, just say, oh, Jesus, help me, help me, help me. I mean, that works. I mean, look at me, it works. And not only that, you know, we're here to serve. We're here to serve, that's all. We're here to serve each other. Okay, do you have any questions? I mean, if you don't, that's fine. Okay, Marie, did I cover everything? Well, the other thing is this, no, but I want to tell you, the reason we're here, what we did today, every Sunday we have the food bank in Brighton, because we see a great need of a food bank in Brighton. I pick up bread every Thursday night at 8:30 at Panera, up here on Wadsworth. And then the next day, Friday, I deliver it to the migrant camps, to the families that I know. And then every second and fourth Saturday is my time also for Panera. And I pick that up. And it's to serve. We need to, and it's fun. And you don't know, you don't know people. Just smile at them. What the heck, It doesn't hurt you to smile. And that's a comforting mechanism that you can use. Just smile. Say, hi, I'm so-and-so. Just a wonderful thing. Marie, thank you for having me talk. Is there...
The first year I worked with the Migrant Ministry, I worked with Molly, and Molly showed me the ropes. And, it was very interesting working with Molly. She's quite a woman, I'll tell you that. I think God's really blessed her. She can communicate with the migrants like you have never seen. And actually, I think Molly is, I think they use her as their confessor. And she works, she does baptismal classes. She teaches English as a second language. And she is just very good with the people. So what I'm doing tonight is I'm going to read out a scripture for you, and I'm going to, I'm going to read this passage from Matthew verses 25 through 40. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. A stranger, and you welcomed me. Naked, and you clothed me. Ill, and you cared for me. In prison, and you visited me. Then the righteous will answer him and say, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? When did we see you ill or in prison and visit you? And the king will say to them in reply, Amen, I say to you, whatever you did for one of these least brothers of mine, you did for me. This is kind of how our ministry works. We like to work with the people that are considered the least of our brothers. And I can tell you that in the 4 years I've been doing this, I have gotten more out of this than I have given. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I've met a lot of wonderful people. So to follow this Gospel of Matthew, for I was hungry and you gave me food, and I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I want to tell you about the generosity of the people that live in this community and the people of this parish. So this is the donations we get from Costco. And you can see there are 3 carts here full of food. And there was actually a 4th cart, but I couldn't get it in the picture. So every Monday morning, Costco donates food to us, and we take it out to the migrant workers. Every Thursday, as Molly says, Panera gives us food. And then 2 Sundays a month, they give Molly food to take to the food pantry. So we do have a food pantry in Brighton, and we get the help of United with Migrants, which is a nonprofit organization. So I want to tell you that we are so blessed and so fortunate because of this parish and about 3 other parishes that donate all of this food to us. The next is, I was a stranger and you welcomed me. There are several of us who are members of the Migrant Committee who have welcomed the migrants into our homes and shared meals with them, both in our homes and in their homes. It is important to us that they know they are welcome in our homes. They have our phone numbers and know that if they need us, we are as near as the phones. They are a very generous people. In some cases, neither parents are working. And this time of the year, that's pretty common because the harvests are done and they are unemployed. So we want to make sure that we help them through the food bank and through the donations we get of food. I was naked and you clothed me. This is another thing where we have found our parish is so generous. Your parents and you, young men and women, we don't know what we'd do without you. There is no way we could do what we do without your parents and you. And I have a picture of all the clothing donations.
I moved it down already, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well, I thought this was the food.
Okay. This is, and Richard, I think you ended up helping us sort some of these clothes last spring. But we had so many clothes that we got donated, and you know, a lot of them are brand new clothes, and it's just amazing to us the donations we get. It's we would not be able to do this without all of your help, all this parish's help. We also get help from the Immaculate Conception and Light of the World. Matthew talks about taking care of the ill. The migrants do not have a primary care doctor. They do not have health insurance. Molly provides them with rides to clinics and hospitals. And if they're in need of medical care, Molly makes sure that they get to the hospital, and she makes sure that they get medical care. She makes sure that if they need a prescription and they don't have the money for it, I've seen this woman pay for it out of her own pocket. And I know Molly and I, one summer, ran into a migrant that had hurt his back. So we ran to Walmart and we got Tylenol, we got hot packs, we got cold packs, and we went back and we rubbed his back and gave him Tylenol and gave him his whole cold packs and his hot packs. So that's how we care for the ill. The next reading from Matthew was, I was in prison and you visited me. To those migrants who are in prison or in jail, we give them the phone numbers of legal aid, and legal aid will help them. And Molly has gone to court with these people. And I remember going to court with Molly once, and she'll stand up for these people. And we give their families support. We make sure that those families always have food to eat, have clothes to eat. The imprisoned. I'm sorry, I already did that. We service people not just from Mexico. We have people from Somalia, we have immigrants and refugees from Somalia, Eastern Europe, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, Colombia, Haiti, and Peru. In the last 2 years, we've noticed a lot of Haitians, right, Molly?
Yes.
And more than I remember in the previous years. We have noticed a lot of Haitians coming here, and they love it here. They wish they could stay here. And I was so disturbed when I read that they were going to be deported right after the hurricane hit. And I thought, oh, my goodness, what are they going to go home to? You know, so, and I think that got rescinded. I think that the government decided that they were not going to deport them. So, I want to talk a little bit about the injustices to the migrant farm workers. If you look at this, this is some of the housing that the migrant farmers work in. It's like a tin storage shed that you might see in your backyard. And there's rows of them, and they're made into apartments. And there's like 4 men living in each one of those apartments. Can you imagine living in your storage shed when it reaches anywhere from 80 to 100 degrees, no fans, no air conditioning, no indoor plumbing, you have to go outside, there's santalets outside. So that's one of the injustices that we see. Here's another one that just shocked me. My husband went out with me one day, and I saw this truck pull up to this is a migrant camp here. I saw a truck pull up to it, and I thought, what in the world could they be delivering to these guys? There's like 23 to 24 men that live in this cinder block building with bunk beds piled all over the building. So I sat there, and I started taking pictures. Well, here's what I saw. 93 degrees in the summertime. And then the men are being unloaded out of the back of that closed box truck. So I talked to the men, I was taking pictures, and the driver got out and he gave me a horrible look like, you better quit taking pictures of this. So I don't scare easily. I kept taking pictures. But I wanted to show you this picture in particular, because I talked to the men, and I said, are you okay? And a couple of them said, no, we aren't okay. We feel dizzy, we feel sick. And so I took this picture, and I sent it to Legal Aid. I have not seen this truck out there since then. I don't know if you have, Molly, but I have not seen it out there since. So we depend a lot on legal aid. This is one of the houses that a family of 6 live in. And as you can see, it is in pretty darn bad shape. So this family, the father got hurt. He's not working. There are 4 kids to support. So we always make sure we get out there and we make sure that these people have food. So those are some of the pictures I have. I have hundreds of more pictures, but I know that I don't have time to show them to all of you. But I wanted you to see probably the worst of the worst. There's a lot of injustices going on out there. As you can see, the living conditions are deplorable. The men work from dawn to dusk, as Molly said. They come home, and I had a farmer say to me, we were at a farm, and I said, you know, your housing is a little bit better than some that I've seen. He says, well, all they do is work and go home, go to sleep. And you know what? He's right. That's all they do, because they are so tired and they're stressed. They're depressed because that's all they do. They're away from their families. They miss their families. So, I thought that was kind of crass that the farmer would say, well, all they do is work and go home and go to bed. So who are these people that Matthew describes as the least of our brothers? Our experience has been that these people are kind, gentle, and grateful people who have a strong Catholic faith and love the earth. They are the gentle ones that are eager to share whatever they have with any of us. And what I have found with these people is that those that have the least give the most. It's amazing.